studios. This is After 9 with Scott and Kat.
Hey now.
Hello.
Kat, it's your last episode before a week of vacation.
I know. I can't believe it's here. It's been, honestly, I've just been running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But yes, it's 1 day from now, I will be off.
Okay, we are going to slam everybody with a hot take about relationships.
Ooh.
Coming up in seconds. Before we do that, let's talk about Vegas. Favorite place to go in Vegas when you get there? First place you go?
I'm to my hotel, Paris.
You like Paris a lot.
We got married in Paris. I'm excited to be back there. And the restaurants are great. And I'm excited to see the Sphere. So this will be the first time I actually go into the Sphere. I think I mentioned that in the pod too. But so yeah, I'm excited to see everything. Honestly, I just like wandering around and seeing what there is and heading into bars that look cool, finding speakeasies. And there's so many speakeasies in Las Vegas, guys. Like literally, I don't even think I could do all of them in a week.
Really?
There's that many of them.
Wow.
And I'm on like I'm in the TikTok wormhole of like where you can find the best ones. So we've already like taken notes of which ones we want to go to that we haven't been yet.
How much is it to get into the Sphere when it's not for a show? Like just to do the tour and see the demo that they do?
I think it was like $250 a ticket or something like that.
Really? Wow. They're going to pay that thing off in no time at $250 a ticket.
Yeah, it ain't cheap. And they run several times a day.
Wow. They're making big money there.
Yeah.
It does seem like Vegas is very much under construction at the moment.
It is because of that damn race.
They've torn down a number of hotels and they're rebuilding those into other attractions. One of them is going to be a baseball stadium for the Oakland A's are relocating to Vegas.
Correct.
But you're right. They're setting up for a big is it NASCAR or Formula
One?
One?
It's F1 that does it. It's same thing that last year was kind of a test run. So they started setting it up later this year once they realized, okay, they have it down pat. They know what they're doing. But they're still set up. So, I mean, for me, I don't know. For me, I've been to Vegas so many times that if my view of the Bellagio fountain is obstructed, I don't really care. But I would never suggest for anyone first time in Las Vegas to go this time of year ever. With that said, because you're not going to be able to see everything in its full capacity, if you will, right? Like the way it should be seen.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you're going to go to Vegas. You're going to be back on the radio and on the pod on Halloween. Okay, so a nice week off. I'm excited for you. And congratulations on 10 years. Very, very good.
Thank you very much.
Let's see here. I got to do a couple of mentions here. Number one, one of my favorite comics is coming to Casino Rama in March. Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, okay, yep.
Fantastic comedian. He's doing 2 shows in Aurelia. There are still tickets available. Less 2 because I just grabbed a pair. So I'm going to be up there for that show on the Saturday.
Good.
Casino Rama, again, if you want tickets, they are still available. And I should plug my round of golf yesterday. I played exceptional. You know, like I don't want to brag too much, but goddamn, I was good.
When the weather's that nice in October, you get the chance to be out there and you should play good. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? The golf course has changed a lot in the last year. This season in particular, I saw the switch. It was lit out there yesterday. Middle of the afternoon, guys out there in shorts and polo shirts hacking around playing golf. And every single foursome had speakers in their golf cart.
Yeah.
And I'm still a bit of a traditionalist. I don't like noise on the golf course. And for decades, it was the same thing. Shh, be quiet. They're playing golf. Now, crank that fucker up.
Yes.
Everybody's blaring music now.
The last time I golfed, I did nothing but blare music. Of course, I was respectful to when we were passing by someone who was on the tee. We stopped the carts completely, and of course the music along with it. But aside from that, yeah, I love having music while I'm doing anything. So yes, that's a must for me.
Caniff Golf Club has got a really good membership special now where you deposit money into your membership account and then you can use it at any of their golf clubs. You can use it for golf. You can use it at the pro shop. You can use it for food and drinks, whatever
good.
You want.
Good.
Real handy membership. I had one for the first time this year and I used it a lot.
Good.
But I got to use up the rest of what's on my account in the next 2 weeks. So if you and like 15 other people want to play golf, let me know.
Do they expire after the year? Is that?
At the end of the year, it does.
Got it.
So you got to use it up. But
rounds are on Scott.
it's a great membership, everybody. I'll tell you, go to caniffgolf.com if you want all the info. I promised you I was going to slam you with a hot take.
Yes.
This one's about relationships. It's a TikTok clip that has got a lot of attention on it. Listen to this.
The number one indicator that somebody is cheating on you or doing something behind your back is not who they're following on social media. It's not their sudden interest in their health and wanting to get more fit. It's how they handle their phones. And there's a paradox behind this. It's obvious that how they handle their phone can be a good indicator on if they're cheating on you. But it's also forced onto us to believe that going through your partner's phone is toxic and unhealthy. So it allows that individual to be able to fall back on that narrative as to why they want their phone to be so secret and so private. But how do they handle it when they're around you? Can they go to the bathroom without bringing their phone? Can they leave their phone face up right in front of you? If you want to Google something or look up a recipe, how do they respond? Do they immediately ask you where your phone's at? Or just tell me what you need, I'll do it for you. Or they're looking over your shoulder the entire time. Even if they cover their tracks, just the idea of leaving some breadcrumbs behind is enough for them to squirm in their seat when they don't have it in their hands.
Very dramatic music
I know.
mixed in there. Good job, TikTok or whatever that was.
So, instant thoughts?
Okay. Listen, I think gut feelings have a play deeply in whether you believe someone in your in the relationship is cheating or not. I wouldn't necessarily say any one of those things means someone's cheating. Some people put their phone down because they're trying to focus on what you're talking about and focus on you. Mm-hmm. But I'm assuming you could probably tell the difference between that and, oh shit, better put this down. You know, like it's in a way that seems a little off, right?
I think you can tell. When someone's being weird about their phone, they're being weird about their phone. If tendencies change, if they were always someone who, I don't know, takes their phone with them when they go to the bathroom, I don't know that necessarily means that they're cheating. It just means that they get bored on the toilet or they're waiting for something. Setting their phone down upside down so that you can't see the notifications when they come in. Again, I don't know that necessarily means for sure that they're cheating. It could be for any number of reasons. Me personally, I don't like the distraction. So sometimes I do put my phone face down when I know that I need to focus on my girlfriend or whoever I'm talking to. This doesn't mean someone's cheating, but it can certainly get you on the right track, can it?
I think, I mean, so I don't want people to read too much into those things, but yeah, I think it would be a lot of them would be a red flag. But I agree with, like, it's awkward. You can't just be like, let me look through your phone, because then you don't want to seem like a psychotic individual who's just, like, afraid that you're cheating on them, and that's the way the relationship's going to go.
Should we normalize it? The one thing that stuck out to me in that clip, and this person is pretty much right, is it's pretty taboo to want to go through your partner's phone. In fact, it usually leads to a fight. Hey, I want to go through your phone. Can I take a look through your phone? Can I use your phone? If the other person doesn't want you to go through their phone, again, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're cheating either, but it does mean that they value privacy. Should there be no secrets between a couple? Phones are wide open? Sure, check anytime you want. Go through it if you have any concerns. I wonder if that would be good or bad for relationships.
I know. I don't know, because two people have to be on the same page, and two people aren't always going to be on the same page with that kind of thing. If you set it off the top of the relationship, like, listen, I've been cheated on before, and it makes me uncomfortable because I found texts that she was sending to blah, blah. So would you mind if I had checked your phone? And if that was something that you decided, hey, listen, if you want to look at my phone anytime, go ahead, and you decided on that, great. But I know I could also see how it would look sneaky on the other end. If the person's not doing anything wrong and then they catch you looking through your phone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, come on, like, what did I do wrong?
I've never once even had a desire to go through my girlfriend's phone. I assume it's organized in the way that she wants it organized, with her calendar the way she wants it and her contacts the way they are, her social media apps the way they are. I don't need to see any of that. But I think that comes from trust, though, right?
I think so too. Yes, absolutely.
Are you saying flat out you have trust issues if you ask your partner if they can go through their phone?
Obviously, you don't have no issues, is what I would say to that. There's obviously there's not no issues happening there. So yeah, I would say trust issues could be a play there.
We're going to get to the Bank of Canada interest rate announcement in a few, and we will talk about what's happening in Ottawa today because it is a piece of Canadian history. Will this be a day that students in the future read about or AI about in history class?
AI about.
I don't know what the proper
We don't know what to
terminology
say
is.
anymore.
I don't know either. I want to play one more thing for you. Did you follow any of the controversy-ish from the New York Jets Pittsburgh Steelers game the other night?
Controversy? No, I don't think so.
Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers was caught on camera cleaning his nostrils. Many fans claimed.
Oh, I did see something about. See, I thought it was about the actual game. Here we are.
No, it's about the trivial shit like usual. There's some who say he picked a booger and ate it on the Pat McAfee show. Aaron Rodgers talked about it.
As far as the boogs goes, I've actually never eaten my boogers. That's one thing I'm very proud of.
That was your first time on TV?
Oh, one time? What about as a child? Had to happen. Had to happen.
No, I honestly haven't.
You're missing out. Try it.
It looks.
Give it a go. Yeah.
It's great.
It's a tough look to try and defend because that video is a little incriminating.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I can tell you that there needs to be a side view that shows that there wasn't a boog that actually went in the mouth.
Okay.
It seems like I didn't get anything on that one. That's why I was just kind of like seeing what was going on. But yeah, it's a bad look.
Okay, so what we've learned from that is that Aaron Rodgers is not the most exciting speaker to listen to. That was a little monotone for the topic at hand.
Listen, I'll tell you about the bugs.
Is he really saying, I've never eaten a bug? Never. Because it looked like on Monday Night Football in front of 24 million people, you did. He's saying, no, I know it looks bad, but that's not what I was doing. In fact, I've never done it. I find that hard to believe. I don't know if there's that many people out there that can truly say, never have I ever put my finger in my nose and then it went to my mouth.
I think, is he saying that in adulthood at least, though? Because you would hope to believe someone in there. I've seen the video before. It is up for debate whether or not he actually put a boog in his mouth, but he definitely touched his nose, and the finger didn't just touch the tip of the nose there. There was some insert action. Right?
It went right in.
It went right in. But where I fail to believe it is when I see the video, I don't believe that it went into the mouth. He might have tapped his mouth, but I don't think that the object of that game was to eat a boogie. Do you know what I mean?
Well, what else was he going to do?
But you know what's really hard? I think it's difficult. And I don't feel bad for athletes in general, right? But I do think it is difficult. And we've seen so many gross things. Like athletes do nasty shit. But the cameras are on them 24/7, like right up to their faces all the time. So sure, they're going to catch that. I also think about when it's cold, when they're playing football in like freezing cold temperatures, their nose like they get drippy nosed. And then they're like that kind of, it's all just fucking gross, isn't it? And the camera has to be right. Can't we cut to? Where's the directors that have sensitivity to that can cut to, right? Cut to something else, anything else.
Is that not an instruction up in the booth? Hey, if you flash to a player who's got a finger in their nose, cut away. Why would they show that on television?
Why? I know. Maybe they weren't expecting it. Or
they
maybe
wouldn't do that shit to Patrick Mahomes. They'll do it to Aaron Rodgers, but they would not do that to Pat Mahomes.
You think they're being discriminatory with who they put the camera on in certain moments?
I think they're very selective about who does and doesn't make it on the broadcast.
Boogsgate. This is what we shall call it.
Case in point, somebody added up Taylor Swift, the last Chiefs game she was at. They showed her on camera 7 times during the football broadcast. They had Trump at the Steelers game on Monday night. He got shown once, and the entire stadium was chanting USA at one point. I think they're very selective about who they do and don't put on TV, and I think that there's usually a reason why. One of the things that we talk about fairly regularly here on After 9, because there's so much more to this story that's going to come out. We have an update on the Diddy situation. One celebrity has come forward to say, I was there, I didn't do anything, leave my name out of this. And it's none other than my best friend, Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon admits to being at the parties when he was as young as 16 years old. However, we're talking about the white parties here. So there's a vast difference. I think we all understand what happened. These white parties and even the VMAs after parties. He used to host all of the after parties for award shows, the Hip Hop Awards, the BET Awards, all those things. The after party was at Diddy's. He was well known as the host. So Nick Cannon would show up to his after party as the DJ. He said several years he was a DJ at those parties.
At 16?
As young as 16, he started going.
I was DJing at 16. It's a great age to get started.
Did you go to Diddy's house?
I never went to Diddy's house,
I'm just checking in on you. Yeah, it's good to check in on a friend.
I did open up a couple of Tailgate Charlies, but that was about it.
Got it.
Do you remember Tailgate Charlies, that bar chain?
I do remember that name, yes.
Do you remember O'Toole's?
No.
10-cent wings on Tuesday nights.
You don't see that anymore.
You don't see that.
You don't
And we
see
never will
that.
again.
Never will. But anyway, where were we? Now I lost my thought. Damn it. I hate when that happens.
I know.
Nick Cannon, yes. So Nick Cannon basically said, yes, I was at the parties, but no, don't you dare name my name. I was out. I was a DJ. So I wrapped up my equipment and I pieced out right after the party was done. I didn't see any after shit, I promise you. But at least he said something. And I thought, you know what? I tend to believe someone who's at least saying something. Where's the quiet people at?
Where are the quiet people?
Where are the quiet people at?
All those names that we've heard anecdotally are going to get linked to this. Where are you now? Where is, the star couple there, the power couple, Jay-Z and Beyonce? I thought for sure, if they had nothing to do with any of this, why haven't they come out to say, hey, listen, the Diddy stuff is Diddy. We didn't have anything to do with it. I have a feeling that there's some celebrities that are really, really, really hoping this list or this is going to go away before they get named publicly. I'm looking at the Eminem clip. Not that I'm suggesting Eminem has anything to do with this, by the way.
I've seen these theories, though. I've seen these theories floating around.
Okay, Eminem kind of opened himself up to it a little bit.
I openly hated Diddy and talk shit. He's never been to a Diddy party. He and Diddy hated each other, along with Fiddy, the entire time.
That's well established. Eminem is Team Fiddy, and Fiddy hates Diddy. However, Eminem surprised a lot of people yesterday. There's a whole bunch of people all of a sudden coming out to endorse for this election, and I can't quite figure out why. Usher endorsed Kamala Harris the other day. After just 2 weeks ago, he said, I'm not endorsing anybody. I just encourage people to vote.
Probably because he got paid. I would love to know. I need to know who's getting paid and who's just saying it because they want to say it. Because it's fine to say it. Whether you care or not or take in the information is totally up to you as a voter. But I don't like that people are getting paid for this. And I do wonder at this point, especially with like a lot of money coming in last minute for a lot of these campaigns. Keep in mind, there are a lot of last minute donations also equate to last minute pitches. Bill could be one of them.
Bill Gates just donated another $50 million to the Kamala Harris campaign.
Like, that's what I mean. And don't you think a milli could easily go to Eminem to do this?
Eminem will give you $1 million to come out and speak for 1 minute and 39 seconds. I'm going to play a little bit of Eminem yesterday at a rally in Michigan, now endorsing Kamala Harris.
These words in the rhythm for you to know it's a rap. You said you was king, you lied through your teeth. For that, your feelings instead of king.
Detroit! What up, though? So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please.
Great. Stop it right there. That's a great message. Stop.
Vote.
Hard out. Go vote.
Just vote.
Use your right. Michigan is going to play a pivotal role in this election, possibly, depending on what happens with the other states. I'm Eminem, godfather of Michigan, and I'm telling you to vote. That's where you should have stopped.
I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
He's verbatim reading it, by the way. Didn't even have a teleprompter. He's straight up reading it off of a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And here to tell you much more about that, President Barack Obama.
Short. It was short.
That was it. It was short and sweet, for sure.
Wonder how much he got for that.
I just want to know, I just think that it's really important that we get clarity on that. It's one thing if you want to say something and use your own social platform to talk about things, fine. Do I love that? No. For celebrities, I mean, especially. Actually, for anybody. I don't like any preachy shit like that. I just don't. Mm-hmm. But, I think that clarity should come into play there. I think I think it should be illegal. I've said that before many a time. You shouldn't be able to pay someone to say that they endorse you. Like, it seems fraudulent to me. I'm shocked that happens. But I know politics are a weird, different animal, right?
Yeah, I mean, Eminem's he's using one of the lines that really seems to have resonated. Not many have for Kamala Harris, to be perfectly honest. But one that really has is Trump has said he is going to get retribution against his. Well, he never said against his political opponents. He said the people who have broken the law and tried to weaponize the justice system against others. And it's not just Trump that faced a lot of legal action over the last little while. So I get that there's people freaking out. Oh my God, if Trump wins, this is going to be nuts. He's already promised to release the Epstein list. That's a given. I think Elon Musk himself is going to hold him to that because Musk wants that list released as well. Let's find out who was going to Epstein Island. There's a lot of people who are afraid that he's going to win and let that list go. There's other people who are afraid that Trump, because none of the legal stuff they threw at him has stuck so far, that he is going to do the same thing. I want to keep in mind, Trump swears he's innocent and he's not been convicted of anything, nothing serious anyway. If someone is innocent, they've got nothing to worry about. If you've done something wrong, I think then you've got something to worry about. And there's a lot of different things that have gone on over the last 4 years that I think probably deserve a little bit of an investigation. So I'm not surprised that people are trying to spin what he said. I really wish Trump would come out and clarify. He also said he's going to fight the enemy within and might use the National Guard. Again, I mean, it was clear to me watching that when it happened that they're anticipating civil unrest. They're anticipating massive rioting and looting in America. And he might bring in the National Guard to quell the dissent. I don't think that's an irresponsible thing to say. If we've got streets in America burning to the ground on election night, I don't think it's a bad thing to say we're going to clean it up right away and we're not going to let this get too far out of control. But anyway, that's on Donald Trump. It's not my job to apologize for him. I'm real fascinated by what's going to go on here in Canada. And I do have the interest rate announcement. I'll get to that in just a sec.
Yeah.
Today is the day. We now know it's over 40 Liberal MPs, members of Parliament, have signed this letter encouraging. Actually, no, I'm rereading this again. They're demanding Justin Trudeau step down. They say this election, or he cannot go into another election, or it will be the devastation of the Liberal Party. Some of these 40 actually think that if somebody else were in charge, they might win the next election. Here's something that I don't know if many people have accepted yet, whether you love him or hate him. And I know that there's statistically more people that hate him than love him. But either way, this is a guy who got elected 3 times. This is a guy who has been tested politically, and he's shown he knows what he's doing. This is also the best they've got. It's the only one they've got. Who's there to replace him? They haven't been doing what many parties do over the years, sort of groom the next one.
Right.
You know, like in America, you got a president and a vice president. Is Kamala Harris grooming Tim Walz to eventually become president? She might. Donald Trump might groom J.D. Vance to eventually become president. Why aren't they developing another leader? They've centered everything around Justin Trudeau. They put all their eggs in one basket. Now, if somebody else were to come in, there's just not enough time before we vote for that person to have a difference. They're probably going to get completely railroaded in the election. Don't get rid of Trudeau. Leave Trudeau right where he is. There's going to be an election sooner than later. We know that. The Bloc Québécois came out yesterday and said, listen, Trudeau's fighting his own party. He's not even dealing with the business of government right now. He's trying to keep his job, and he's not moving on the Bloc Québécois' priorities. So October 29th, they say they're going to take the guy down. They're going to vote against him, non-confidence. That's in 6 days. If the Liberals get rid of Justin Trudeau, if they actually convince him to step down, careful what you wish for. It could be even worse without Trudeau. Maybe he's the salesman that party needs to even keep them at 20% popularity. Could be even worse with somebody else. Has history taught us anything about that? Yeah, it taught us a thing or two. Kim Campbell came in after Brian Mulroney introduced the GST and got completely obliterated. I don't know if it's a good idea I'm not a liberal. I don't want to tell you guys what to do, but Again, careful what you wish for. Getting rid of Trudeau might be a bad idea.
I don't think he's the type to step down on his own either.
You don't think he's going to go, eh?
No.
Let me ask you one more question, because this is one that has come up. You've got these 40 Liberal MPs that signed the letter, and apparently they believe in their convictions. They think Trudeau's got to go for whatever reason they happen to think that. There's a lot of people suggesting that if you truly believe Trudeau should go, and he doesn't go, you should sit as an independent in the House of Commons. If you truly don't think Justin Trudeau should or could be the prime minister, maybe you should sit as an independent with the other independent members in the House. Do you think even one of them is going to do that? Give up their government position to go and sit as an independent MP?
I don't know.
I couldn't see many of them doing it. If they do, I'll be impressed. I just don't see it happening. When it comes to interest rates, which is probably the biggest nail in Justin Trudeau's coffin right now, interest rates are going down, Kat.
They are going down, not as much as we all would have hoped, but it's better than, what was the TD Bank last minute kind of said a quarter point. Thankfully, it's more than a quarter point. It's a half point. A half point drop.
Down to 3 3/4%. That's the Bank of Canada rate. That's not the rate that banks will charge us because they always tack on a little bit extra for themselves. Let me ask you, when inflation was at 2% and our interest rates were at 0.25%, I would have thought that now that inflation's at 1.6%, we could have gone right back. And that would be a major help to the economy. If they just gave people back all that money monthly that they've been stealing from people for all these years.
Sorry.
If they just gave it back to people and said, all right, interest rates back to where it was, we'll meet you in the middle. We'll compromise on 1%. It's going to be 1%. That would help the housing market. It would help small businesses. It would help just about everything.
Yeah.
They've taken money out of people's pockets, and they don't seem to be in a rush to even get people back to where they were.
I know. It's too bad. I mean, I'm glad to see it go down, but it could have been down a full point. And that would have made more sense even.
It would have made a lot more sense, Kat. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Meanwhile, happening over in Russia right now, you've got India's Narendra Modi. You've got China's Xi Jinping. You've got the president of Russia, Vladimir Putin. These are all members of the BRICS bloc of developing economies. They're all having a meeting right now to talk about what's going to happen over the next few weeks when the U.S. has their election. This BRICS thing is interesting. The U.S. dollar is basically the global standard when it comes to money. These guys are getting together, combining all their economies. They're going to create their own currency called BRICS.
Oh.
And BRICS is likely going to be the global standard. You've got China, Russia, and India as the big three in on this currency. Then you add in Brazil and a bunch of other nations. That could be a very powerful currency.
So are they actually changing their currency name?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
You won't get dollars, you'll get BRICS. Right now, you've got the yen and the ruble and all these other things. They're going to combine them and create their own currency, which is meant to go toe-to-toe with the U.S. dollar. They want the global trading to be done in BRICS as opposed to in U.S. dollars.
Is it, out of curiosity, is it spelled the English way of BRICS?
It's an acronym for the countries that founded it.
Got it.
So, I'd love to know what they're up to. What are you guys up to? What's the plan here? I don't know. Maybe I'm just being nosy, but I want to know. When you get all those leaders getting together in one place, in Russia, by the way, what are they discussing? What is the plan? Apparently also on the topic is what's going to happen if there's a global conflict, which if there is going to be one, I would imagine would probably be in the Middle East. So they're ready for it. And then they're going to roll out this money. I don't know what that's going to do to the Canadian dollar, but it sure as shit is it's going to be more valuable than a Canadian dollar. So I don't know what that's going to do to us. What else can we tell you today? Halloween costumes are on our radar because Halloween is a week away. New poll on what's politically correct.
Okay.
Can a woman dress as a man?
I think so.
69% say, yeah, that's still okay. Can a man dress as a woman?
I think so.
65%, a little bit less, say that.
I wonder if they, seriously, this is out of political correctness and not just because they don't like it. You know what I mean? Because I think there's some people who don't like it if someone dresses as a woman that's not a woman or a man that's not a man. But I think you should pull that aside.
When it comes to political correctness in particular, I think that there's two different people. There are some people who believe in political correctness and they don't want to be offensive. They want to be inclusive, all these other sort of things. Then there's others who really don't care. They don't have a problem with things that are not PC, quote unquote, but they think that others might be offended, even if they have no proof that they will be. And that's when they get all woke and stuff. So yeah, there's still PC-ness out there. If you were to go to a Halloween party dressed in blackface, your employer might have something to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
No
doubt.
Can a non-Indigenous person dress as an Indigenous person? I'm surprised at this. 52% say that's okay. If you're not a First Nation member, you could still dress in traditional First Nation headdress, clothing, whatever.
Interesting. But is there like a respectful way versus obviously, I think we all know like non-respectful ways to do it. I always thought it was just out. I always thought that was a no.
I thought it was a no too.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was no shortage of little girls that wanted to dress like Pocahontas, for example, when Pocahontas was out. And some people labeled that cultural appropriation. Others said it was a very fitting tribute to First Nations people.
Right.
I don't know if we're ever going to agree on that. I think it depends on the person trying to make the argument. But 52%, a slim majority, say it's still okay. Can a child dress in a cultural costume if they're not part of that culture?
I mean, again, my instant reaction is to say no.
Okay. 62% said yes for children. It drops substantially for adults.
I'm just trying to give me an example. Like, is this someone who just wanted to be a character that happens to not be in their culture? Or are they purposely portraying that culture by changing the color of their skin or doing something to their hair, etc.? Like, there's a difference to me. There's huge differences.
Absolutely. It doesn't define exactly what, but I'm sure we can all think of cultural costumes that someone might want to dress as. But if you're a regular run-of-the-mill white Canadian, whatever, living here, and you want to dress up in, I don't know, some traditional Indian dress, would that be okay? Because you're not Indian. I think that's where they're going with that one. Can your costume include a realistic-looking gun or any weapon?
No, I don't think it's a good idea to do that.
Only 34% said yes. 50% said definitely do not do that. Hey, if you want to dress up like a bank robber, okay, fine. You want to get a gun for your bank robbery, okay, if you really want to. But if it really looks like a gun, people don't want that shit when they're trying to walk around the neighborhood with their kids.
No, don't be yielding a huge knife or something as you're walking down the street. It's just not a good look.
Can white people wear blackface makeup if they're dressing up as a black person? If I said, Kat, for Halloween this year, I'm going to be Barack Obama. I'm going to dye my hair gray and paint my face black.
Oh my gosh, that's a no. That's always been a no.
33% in 2024 still think that's okay.
Where are these people going for Halloween? Get out of here.
52% say definitely not. 15% aren't sure. And I feel like if you're in the aren't sure category on that one, you kind of want to dress up in blackface.
Yeah, what is up with that?
Oh, boy. Adults, far less likely to dress up this year than last. 22% say they're dressing up. 76% say they are not. If you are going to dress up this year, have you got your costume? Only 1 in 10 do. Only 1 in 10 have got their costume. So if you're working at Spirit Halloween or Party City or wherever else you go to get costumes, this weekend's going to be a goddamn mess.
It's going to be insanity. And good luck trying to get the size you want and stuff like that. That's why you do have to shop early if you know you're going to dress up for Halloween.
Homemade costume, homemade and store-bought, something you piece together.
Yeah.
Store-bought. Which one would you be most likely to go for, Kat?
Oh my gosh, I don't have the time anymore, so I'd go store-bought.
You used to take time and make your costumes and stuff. Now they just sell everything online. It's a lot easier that way, right?
It's much easier, all in one package. Yeah.
Only 15% are doing a completely homemade costume this year. 21% more homemade than store-bought, but it's still a little bit of both. 19% more store-bought than homemade. And 40% are going completely store-bought this year. In other words, of the people dressing up, more than half intend to buy at least part of their costume. Get out of here and have a good time in Vegas.
Okay, thanks for holding down the fort while I'm away. Appreciate it.
I will be incredibly jealous, but happy for you. Enjoy Sin City. I will be back here with you for another episode of After 9 tomorrow.
Lost Cherry Tom Ford's new $255 perfume is being compared to embalming fluid because it contains benzaldehyde, the same chemical used during the embalming process and which, incidentally, is also used in food to create an almond or a cherry taste. Yummers. I'll be sure to incorporate that into my new cookbook. Does this taste like Nana's funeral?
Peloton is partnering with Costco to sell their bike as they look to reach new customers. Ooh. Costco's got food, furniture, and exercise bikes. I mean, they're pretty much a USA Today away from being a Marriott.
Coca-Cola has issued a recall for 13,000 cases of Minute Maid lemonade because they're mislabeled, specifically contains lemons.
In his new memoir, Al Pacino says he'll forever be haunted by a childhood injury to his penis, while the rest of us will be forever haunted by that headline.